Yo, what's good YouTube? This is Jay from T&J, and welcome back to the New Orleans Kings franchise here in the ALCS, already in Season 2. Can you believe it? In last episode, we still continued this hot streak, defeating the White Sox on the road in Game 1. Now we have a chance to take a 2-0 lead and go back home, as Tyler Glasnow is on the mound. Remember, in his first appearance in the postseason, he was amazing. I mean, just amazing. I believe he had 11 strikeouts. I mean, just crazy numbers. And let's just kick off this Game 2 on the road, as here is Billy Hamilton leading us off with the hit to right field off of Dane Dunning, who gets the start for the White Sox. And that is going to be a leadoff double already for Billy Hamilton. So that brings up David Bodie, who hits one hard to the right side, and that is going to be a ground ball, but at least it moves Billy Hamilton over to third. So put the ball in play here, Puig, and we will get our first run of the game. This one's over the middle, and he drives it deep, and that one will make it over the wall in left field. That is a home run off of the bat of Yasiel Puig, fighting for a new contract. He is in the last year of his deal with the Kings, and he makes it 2-0. What a way to do it on the biggest stage. That brings up Jake Cave, who has been one of those guys that has just been hot here in the postseason, but this time he pops out to Altuve at second, and they do get out of that first inning, but we get 2 runs. So that moves us to the bottom of the first inning. Here is Glasnow on the mound for us, and here is Altuve. He hits a tapper back to him, and with 2 outs, ground ball. This one's Castellanos to Bodie to first, and that is going to be the 3rd out of the inning. And we have this two-run lead. Let's preserve it this time. Here is Semien at the plate. He hits one hard to left center, and he has been hot here in the playoffs quietly, and he has been a guy that was disappointing in the regular season. I mean, I expected him to hit close to 285, but I was hoping that he would kind of just rise above the occasion and hit more than his contract is worth, because he is our highest paid guy on the squad. So Scooter Gennett moves him over to third. Another situation like the first inning. Here is our man, our phenom at catcher, Corey Lee. Ground ball to second, but that is enough to move him over and score the run. It's 3-0. So now we move on to the bottom of the second inning. Here is Jose Abreu at the plate, but he can't catch up to that pitch on the inside part. And with 2 outs, Zach Collins comes up. High heat, 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and Zach Collins swings and misses. So Glasnow is off to another great start in this one. So now we move on to the top of the third. Here is David Bodie at the plate, and he's just walking. Remember in the first game, they had some issues with walks, and let's see if we can take advantage of that, as Puig comes up, and he gets hit by a pitch. Wow, I mean, just the top of our lineup, getting walked, getting hit by pitches. I mean, that is what is killing the White Sox so far in this series. So that brings up Aguilar, who hits a missile to second base, and that brings up Jake Cave next, who I mentioned is one of the hottest hitters on our team. He goes to opposite field. That one is deep, and it does reach the wall. It bounces off, and it does score 1. Let's see if we send a second, and no, we won't, because it's a 4-0 lead. We are in the driver's seat once again on the road. So that brings up Semien, who does watch that outside slider on the check swing. And now bases loaded here. And that brings up Scooter, the guy you really want up in this situation. He gets a pitch low, but he checks his swing, and it's going to be called a strike. That one was over the middle. We got fooled on that one. And now we move on to the bottom of the 4th inning. Glasnow finally getting into a little bit of trouble after walking the leadoff batter. That brings up Nomar Mazara, who goes to opposite field on the hit and run, and it will bloop to left field, and that's going to be fielded by Tapia, but Jose Altuve makes it all the way to third base, as that brings up Jose Abreu, who hits one hard, and that one will drop down in center. Billy Hamilton was playing deep on that one. Maybe if it was regular depth, he could have ran that one down, but instead, that one scores a run. It's 4-1. That brings up Collins here with 2 outs, and he is just going to fly out to center field, but Chicago at least gets 1 back as we move on to the later parts of this game, and that is Glasnow with his 90th pitch on the evening. 91 on the way. Abreu goes to opposite field again. He already has an RBI in this one. That one reaches the wall in right field, fielded by Puig, and they will get a double here to start out the 7th inning. Let's see if the manager goes to the bullpen. No, he won't. That brings up Zach Collins, and that's a ground ball to second, and he moves Abreu over to third base. And now, with the man on third, let's see if Gerber can bring him in. That's a low changeup, and he's just looking. It's strike 3, and that's the 7th strikeout by Glass now as he's over 100 pitches now. Ground ball to shortstop with 2 outs, but that one squeezes through. And now it's just a 2-run lead here in the 7th inning as that brings up Luis Robert to the plate, who hits a ground ball to short, and that's an easy put out at second base. So now we move on to the later parts of this game, and we bring in one of our veterans, an older 37-year-old pitcher, Craig Stammen. I loved what he did this year. Let's see if we can get us out of this one. Here to start at the bottom of the 8th. That is a hit up the middle. So now the White Sox is the comeback on once again. Jose Altuve at the plate with no outs, but that's a ground ball, and that's to Simeon, Scooter, and thrown to first. Double play. And now 2 outs here in the 8th inning. Nomar Mazara with a guy on first base. He hits a line shot to left, but it is right at Tapia. So we have the 2-run lead here going into the 9th inning. Let's see if Stammen can get us out of this game. We won't bring in Nate Jones, but here Craig Stammen does give up a hit to center field, and Billy Hamilton comes up throwing. So now we have to think about bringing in our closer, and let's see what the manager does. He goes and checks on Stammen, and it looks like his confidence is about half. So I decide to go to the bullpen and bring in Nate Jones. You see that ERA. It is terribly high because he blew that save versus the Yankees. And now he's facing a pretty good lineup with the White Sox. Zach Collins comes up, though, and he whiffs at that one. 1 out. Mike Gerber to the plate. It's a hit to right field. He keeps this inning going. So now a home run will win it for the White Sox. Not again. Flashbacks to that Yankee series. That brings up Danny Mendick, who does watch one on the outside part. That's a great changeup on the corner. And Luis Robert, 0 for 3 in this game. A pitch over the middle. He goes opposite field, and it sneaks past Puig. It gets to the wall, and Puig fields it kind of weirdly off the wall and comes up throwing, and both runs come in. Another blown save by Nate Jones. Can you believe it? He just left that pitch over the middle of the plate a little bit too much, and that brings up Yandy Diaz to the plate. Another one he leaves over the middle, and it misses his target. And wow, that was supposed to be low in the zone, and we just got lucky. And this one goes to extras. So now to start out extras, Marcus Semien up to the plate with no outs. Zach Birdie on the mound, and he is going to walk Semien as that brings up Scooter. He's going to walk Scooter. I mean, this pitching rotation has had difficulties with surrendering walks. So that brings up Corey Lee, the young catcher. He goes to opposite field. That one sneaks through. Bases loaded here. 1 out. And let's see what Tapia can do. He has not fared well in the playoffs so far, but with bases loaded, he's got to come through. 1-1 pitch. Up in the zone, and he just gets enough wood on it, and it gets down in center field. Robert comes up throwing, and it's going to be 2 runs scored here, 6-4, as Zach Birdie gives up 2 runs for the Kings to take the lead as they go to the bullpen and bring in Steve Chiswick out of the pen, and he's pitched 3 1/4 innings, and he hasn't been impressive. So let's see if Billy Hamilton can keep it going. So now the top of the lineup is back. Ground ball to third, but it's just a tailor-made double play. And the White Sox will get out of that inning with no more runs surrendered, but we still have the 2-run lead. And we bring in Rowan Wick. Honestly, one of the better bullpen guys that we have on our roster. I really love what he's done for us since we've acquired him. So now Altuve comes to the plate. And that's going to be a strikeout there, a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. And that's 1 out. Nick Castellanos, a pitch low in the dirt. And we get him to swing on the curveball. And now 2 outs. We are 1 out away from a 2-0 lead. As that brings up Nomar Mazara, who hits 1 to Scooter. If you throw it cleanly, it's going to be a 2-0 lead. And there we go. We return back home with an advantage now as we reclaim home field. And now we have 3 straight home games with a chance to possibly even sweep. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's take it a game at a time. 2-0 lead, 6-4. Yasiel Puig a home run and 2 RBIs in this game. So now we move on to game 3, a pitching matchup with Dallas Keuchel and also our man. And, you know, the one thing that I do like about, you know, just how we are playing right now is that we are putting up runs. And I thought that, you know, losing somebody like our ace in our rotation and now Jose Urquidy has to step up, I thought we would struggle. But we are doing really, really well. So here in game 3, and I know you guys talk about the jerseys. I can't switch those no matter where the location is. It's kind of set, so I will change those in the offseason. But here we are in game 3, and here is Robert at second base. He got on base after a leadoff walk and swiped second, but then Urquidy bounces back with 2 straight strikeouts as that brings up Nicholas Castellanos here with 2 outs, 3-2 count. Ground ball to Simeon, and Simeon comes up throwing to first, and that one will get us out of the first inning. Let's see if our offense stays hot as we face Dallas Keuchel. In his one start, he went the distance. 9 innings pitched. He has a 111 whips. He had 6 strikeouts, 4 walks in the previous series. So now that brings up Billy Hamilton to lead off the game. And he goes deep. The improbable happens. Billy Hamilton going deep. And I have not seen this at all from Billy Hamilton. I think this is the first home run I've ever hit with him. And he is funny, man. He is doing really, really well in the postseason, and he comes through when it matters the most. That's what you like to see out of these veteran guys. So now 1-0 here as we return home in game 3, as that brings up Jesus Aguilar, who hits one down the left field line, but the third baseman was hugging the bag. And now we do take the 1-0 lead as we move on to the second inning. Here is Nomar Mazara at the plate. He goes to opposite field. That one drops down. That one was perfectly placed away from the shift. And that one will be a stand-up double here for Mazara as Clint Frazier comes up throwing in left. And that brings up Jose Abreu. He's watching one on the inside part of the plate. That's an inside slider. And now with 2 outs, let's see if he can get out of this inning too. Gerber, he's watching as well. It's strike 3. And there we go, Urquidy. Man, what can I say about Glasnow and Urquidy? They are pitching quite well. So that brings up Jake Cave in the second, who drives one deep, and it makes it over the wall in right field. It's a home run. 390 feet for Jake Cave. He has just been tearing the cover off the ball, and that makes it a 2-0 lead here for the Kings at home. Man, if we can steal this game, we are definitely in the driver's seat. So that brings up Danny Mendick here in the top of the 3rd inning with 1 out, and that one will be a leadoff single here. And let's see if Urquidy can get out of yet another situation with runners on base. But that brings up Luis Robert, who does watch one. And now, guys on first and second, the top of their lineup is back up. Yanni Diaz goes to opposite field. That one sneaks through the infield, and they will hold up the runner at third base smartly because now they got Altuve at the plate. Bases loaded, no outs. He goes to opposite field, and it sneaks through. Scooter Gennett, not even close. Puig comes up throwing, and 2 runs will score. It's a tie ball game here in the 3rd inning, as now the White Sox still have no outs in this inning with their 4-hitter up. Nicholas Castellanos, ground ball, second, goes to short, to first. It's a double play. And now with 2 outs here, let's see if we can just get out of this jam here with the runner in scoring position. And it's a tapper right in front of the plate. And Urquidy comes up throwing to first. But the White Sox tie this game up. As now we move on to the 5th inning. Here is Luis Robert at the plate. Urquidy gives one up. That's driven deep. And it's not coming back. It's a home run. If that was a little more to the right, that could have hit off the wall. But Robert just places that one perfectly. And now they take the 3-2 lead. So Urquidy's still on the mound here. But this time, giving up another hit here in the 5th inning. And now we have to think about what we're going to do. Are we going to go to our bullpen, or are we leaving Urquidy? Ground ball to second base. Nomar Mazara with 2 outs. and he does get out of this inning. But now a 3-2 lead here for the Chicago White Sox, as that brings up Corey Lee to start out the bottom of the 5th inning. He strokes one to left field, and that one gets down. So now we have a man on first base, Scooter Gennett at the plate. Let's see if we can just move him over, but a ground ball to the right side, and it sneaks through past Altuve. And here we go. This is our chance here to take this lead. As the bottom of our lineup comes up, the top of our lineup is next. Clint Frazier goes up the middle, and that one sneaks through. And I'm going to send Corey Lee on this one. 75 speed. He makes it. It's 3-3 here. And now we still have no outs in this inning. Guys on first and second. Billy Hamilton at the plate. You got to figure we're going to move the runners over here. Billy Hamilton lays one down. It's actually a good bunt, but it's a little too hard. And they go to second for the force out. So now guys on the corners. David Bodie, one of the guys you want at the plate. He hits one to the shortstop. And the shortstop can't handle it. And it's going to be another run. There we go. 4-3. We reclaim this lead right back as Dallas Keuchel's pitches are going up. He's at about 78 pitches through 5 innings. Here comes Puig to the plate. Hits a screamer to third, and it's fielded. Thrown to second, thrown to first. Double play. What a play to get out of that inning that time by Yandy Diaz. So now we move on to the 6th inning. Jesus Aguilar comes up and drives one deep, and it makes it over the wall. It's a home run for Jesus Aguilar. That one was a screamer, and it's 5-3. So let's see if we can protect another 2-run lead going into the late innings. This has been our Achilles heel. And let's see, they're going to bring in Chiswick again for his 6th game of the postseason. And Corey Lee comes up to the plate here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Let's see if he can start another rally going, but he can't. And we get out of that inning at least with 1 run as we bring in Ryan Stanek out of the bullpen. Another good relief pitcher for us. And we have a few good ones, but then we have some relief pitchers that have been struggling. Stanek has been one of the ones that have been consistent. As we move on to the 7th inning, Jose Altuve to the plate, chopper to third. We get out of 7 innings. So now we move on to the later parts, into the 8th inning. Jose Abreu at the plate, ground ball to short, into a double play. As we move on to the 9th inning, we are 3 outs away from a 3-0 lead. That brings up Zach Collins to the plate, who hits one to left field. 1 out here in the 9th. Clint Frazier is under that one. So that brings up Mike Gerber in the 8 spot. These are the 2 guys you want up, the 8-9 hole. But Gerber takes this one deep off of the right field wall. And it's going to be a double at least. He's got 87 speed, and he will just stand up at second. And now Stanek has pretty much put his pitch count at about 40-something pitches. We had him in for about 3 innings. So now we go to our bullpen and bring in last year's closer. It's Joe Smith. I just cannot trust Nate Jones in this situation, so let's lean on somebody else. That brings up Danny Mendick, and he goes up the middle, and that is a run surrendered again. What is up with these late inning rallies, as now it's 4-5. So Luis Robert at the plate as the lineup rolls over. Ground ball to second. This one could be it. But Robert has 92 speed and is able to beat that one out. So now a man on first base, a speedy guy. It's Robert in a low pitch and a sinker. And Robert swipes second. We fell asleep at the wheel. And now a guy on second base here, Yandy Diaz at the plate. He is 2 for 4. He goes up the middle, and it sneaks through. And that one could have been fielded by Joe Smith, and Billy Hamilton even tries to come up fielding, and he can't. And look at this. Diaz advances to second. It's a 5-5 tie ball game, and we have no choice, man. We got to get 1 out, and Nate Jones could get this out. He blew the save last game. Let's see if he can get out of this one. And with guys on first and second, Castellanos, and it's going to be a fly ball to right. Another extra inning game here in the playoffs. And now here comes Marcus Semien to the plate here in the bottom of the ninth to lead it off. That's going to be a leadoff walk. So it starts off pretty good. Corey Lee, no outs. We would bunt him over, but now it's a 1-2 count, and it's going to be a strikeout. Lee just swings that one way out of the zone. Scooter at the plate. swings at one low, and it's a strike 3. He swings and misses. That's a low and a rare miss swing and miss by Scooter, as that brings up Clint Frazier to the plate, and he hits one to Diaz, and the White Sox get out of the 9th inning, and another 10th inning here, as now we're officially into extras. I don't know what I was saying before, and now here comes Abreu at the plate, who's been hitting the ball extremely well in this series. He goes to right field, and that is going to be a double here with Luke O'Connor on the mound. So Zach Collins to the plate, the lefty, and that is going to be a pass ball on this one. Corey Lee can't handle it, and it gets past him. So now Abreu moves to third base. Now Zach Collins to third. What a blunder behind the plate by Corey Lee, and I don't know what that was. So now this at-bat continues here. Zach Collins is at least 0 for 4. So let's see if we can get a strikeout here. O'Connor, fly ball though, left field, and it looks like it could be deep enough, but 39 speed. Clint Frazier comes up throwing, and the throw is just offline, and Abreu comes across the plate to score 6-5. And now Mike Gerber continues this at bat now, and it's going to be a tapper right back to the pitcher. And now 3 outs here, and we could be yet in another situation where we have to rally late, but this one's in extras, down by 1 run. That brings up Bodie to the plate here with 1 out, a tapper right back in front of the mound, and it's going to be an out. So now the White Sox could steal the first game on the road. Yasiel Puig to the plate with 2 outs, another tapper right back to Cordero, and he throws to first, and it's going to be the 3rd out of the inning, and the White Sox come back in the 9th and take the lead in the 10th and end up stealing Game 3 on the road. So the road teams rule here in this series so far. 6-5 loss. Man, did we just miss out on a huge opportunity at a 3-0 lead. We blow that lead late. Nate Jones, man, I don't know what's going on with him on the mound, but we need to figure out ways to close these games out. And we end up losing this game 6-5, but we still have the next 2 games here at home. We have an opportunity at least to win 2 games and avoid going back to Chicago. We don't want to do that. But let's see what happens in the next 2 games. So we still have the 2-1 lead. Hit subscribe, hit that like button. Stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.
I've been working hard for a minute. The ones who don't deserve it seem to be the ones that get it. The ones who speak the truth never get the recognition, but the ones that act foolish seem to get all the attention. It don't matter though, yeah. Hey, it don't even matter though. Nope. Hey, it don't even matter.